Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Hope your work week's off to a good start. We're brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Talking NFL offseason moves in the next 15 minutes, specifically the black and gold. I think coming up like right now, Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore are going to be speaking with the media. So my plan, it's a tentative plan, is to discuss what they have to say at 2:30 if they've gotten to the podium. You just never know. With football GMs, coaches, players, who's going to show up on time. It's possible they don't start the press conference till 2:25, and at that point, I'm probably not going to be talking about it at 2:30. But my plan is to talk a little bit about that at 2:30. We'll see if that happens or not. We'll start the hour with an interesting aspect of the new world that we live in, but it's not necessarily a reality in Baton Rouge today. But it could be, maybe, one day. We'll see. You probably know by now that Utah finalized a deal worth 9 figures with Otro Capital earlier this year. Private equity coming in to handle revenue-generating aspects of their athletic program. Michigan State has a new structure in their department that's with $100 million in seed money to do a for-profit subsidiary called Spartan Media Ventures. And those aren't local. But we do know that in a couple of weeks, in early August, maybe next week in early August, there's a meeting set at the governor's mansion for boosters of LSU to hear from Dr. Wade Roos, president of LSU, on a new way to fundraise, to create revenue, to handle things financially in the world of collegiate athletics. And I'm reading from Dan Wolken's column today, and as he writes, it said, in early August, LSU is gathering donors at the governor's mansion for a first look at an alternative revenue-generating opportunity for LSU athletics that is the first of its kind nationally and could quite possibly change the future of college sports in America. That's from the invitation that was publicized. As Wolken adds, it's expected to include some type of structure where investors/donors could buy a share of a privatized athletic department. This is above my depths in terms of how the dollars and cents work. But I can look at it and go, well, that's very different. And it would change the way that LSU athletics operates. And coincidentally, as Wolken writes that column about private equity and different ways to create revenue in collegiate athletics, The Athletic came out with a story today. Matt Baker wrote it, putting a valuation on different college football programs. Because Josh Pastner, who is the head basketball coach at UNLV, was kind of tongue-in-cheek talking and said, why are these guys trying to, buy an NBA team for all these billions of dollars? You can come buy my college basketball team for like $12 billion. Say you own the team. And he was kind of joking, but like, is that any different from what Cody Campbell's doing at Texas Tech? Like, he kind of owns Texas Tech athletics. He's the reason they're like a football playoff team. He's the reason their softball team was as good as it was. He's the reason their men's basketball team is as good as he basically owns that athletic program. He floats the cash. So the Athletic put a dollar figure on all these college football programs, and they didn't just pull a number out of a hat. It's not exact. They didn't go ask what the ADs would sell for, so it's not an exact number. But what they did was they used actual transactions in professional leagues, like the SEC and Big Ten are similar to the NFL and the NBA. The ACC is closer to the MLB or the NHL. And they also used financial numbers reported by the schools themselves, like what you brought in revenue. That's public information at public universities. They also factored in, this is the subjective part, brand power, demographics, conference realignment, all that kind of stuff. And they put an actual dollar number on college football programs. Number one on the list is Texas at $2.46 billion. Longhorns, worth a lot. Number two, Ohio State, $2.3 billion. Those are huge universities, huge states, huge booster power, huge brands, championship pedigree. Ohio State's more recent, but you get the picture. Notre Dame, national brand, good football team the last few years, $2.1 billion, they're third. Michigan's fourth, Georgia fifth, Alabama sixth. A tie, seventh, the Lincoln-Riley duo of Oklahoma and USC. Tennessee, ninth. Penn State, 10th. And there goes LSU at number 11th. LSU just in front of Florida, Oregon, Auburn, Nebraska, Washington, and Texas A&M somehow. I don't know how that works. Doesn't feel to me like that's correct, but that's what they did. So LSU, in the grand scheme of this exercise by The Athletic, comes in at number 11. And I'll read you the blurb that they put on it. Said, between firing Brian Kelly, hiring Lane Kiffin, and building one of the most expensive rosters in the sport, LSU has acted as if money is no object. So far, the state and the fan base have been able to support it. The Kiffin effect doesn't show up in these numbers yet, but it makes LSU one of the most interesting programs to watch on the field and financially over the next few years. Anybody got $1.3 billion? Want to buy the football program? I guess Graves would do it. He's trying to buy the Saints and the Pels. But you come in a competitive spot here in terms of valuation. Ole Miss is down at 27, Arkansas at 23, Miami at 18, but LSU at number 11 in the competition with the big boys, the biggest hitters. And I always, since this new world has come upon us, I've always questioned whether or not LSU could keep up. And to this point, it would be difficult for me to suggest that LSU can't keep up. It would be hard to do that because you have spent exorbitant amounts of money hiring big-name coaches from Notre Dame and Ole Miss while Florida was involved. You have gotten the number one portal class last year, number one portal class this year. You've had a Heisman Trophy winner. You've won 2 baseball national titles. Like, I'm struggling to find the spot where LSU has not kept up. Maybe you could look at a recruiting example here or there, but you couldn't do it on the whole in recruiting. On the whole, LSU has kept up. Now, LSU's not for sale right now, so we're not going to see how this works in the NBA. Like, a sale happens and you know what the number is. You know how that shakes out. I don't know that LSU would sell for, what's the math on this, for $300 million more than Texas A&M. That to me seems far-fetched. I realize LSU's got a more full trophy case. Mike Elko said that at media days. How do you keep these guys focused after a year last year? I said, look at the trophy case; it's empty. But I feel like A&M would sell for more. But LSU's right there with the big boys, and I just I'm at the point now where I'm not gonna ask whether or not LSU can keep up. Now, whatever Dr. Roos tells these boosters in the next week could change the game. I don't know how that works. But I just assume at this point that LSU can take care of it. I had a conversation with someone inside LSU's athletic department about 3 weeks ago. And I was talking to this person about the financial commitment to the different programs athletically and how that tug of war might work. And what I was told was, essentially, there are some boosters at the top of the food chain that spread the wealth. There are some boosters at the top of the food chain who have preferences as to where their money's directed. Maybe it's all to one. Maybe it's split 50-50. Maybe it's 33-33-33. That maybe it's 70-20-10. But that we've been in this system long enough that people know kind of what lane they're in. And there was a time right out of the chute where there were some people that were unhappy throughout the department. Y'all know that baseball wasn't over the moon about the way things went last offseason. That's been tamped down. We talked about it on our air. But there's not a huge tug of war going on right now. Everyone kind of knows where they're supposed to go, and that's where the resources are, and you've got them at your disposal until you don't. And to this point, no one has run out. So I don't get the sense that coaches are stepping on each other to get to the same booster, to get the same type of check. And if you get there second, you're SOL trying to get this recruit that you got to have out of the portal for this team. I get the sense that the coaches know, that the administrators that have been assigned to the relative sports know, that the boosters understand what their role is, and that everybody's kind of understanding where things shake out financially. Again, a lot of this stuff is done in the dark, and it's a difficult thing for us to cover day in and day out without any public information. You got to try to get people to speak to you, which in this case someone did 3 weeks ago. But it's tough to cover when it's all secretive. If whatever Dr. Roos has to say at the governor's mansion in early August is transformative in public, great. I'll discuss it with you. If we get finality to the Save College Sports Act and we understand what significant restrictions, regulations, and practices are put in place, great. I'll discuss that with you. But right now, it just feels like it all just kind of happens quick. And you fill out a team and you go play, and half that team leaves and you go get a new one. And LSU's kind of kept up. And by every metric that you look at, including a valuation put together by The Athletic, they're keeping up with the Joneses. Just hope the wins follow. That's the most important thing to most of you, right? Chugging along here on a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. A reminder, we'd love to see you tonight at Court's Table. Sports Trivia. We weren't doing Sports Trivia last week because I was in Tampa for SEC Football Media Days, but we're back in action tonight, 8 o'clock. Come see us at 8 o'clock. Have you out of there about 9:15, 9:20 or so not out all hours of the night on Tuesday. They got great food, great drinks. You can win gift cards. We get pickleball court reservations if you get second place in one of the rounds. It's a lot of fun. So if you're looking for something to do tonight, want to come by yourself or come grab a team, you can come on out at 8 o'clock at Court's Table right there on Burbank. We'll come back. We'll talk some NFL offseason moves. Where do the Saints moves rank in the top 50 moves of the offseason? ESPN ranked them. We'll tell you next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Always love telling you about my friends over at Auction. They want to remind you that this is just a brutal time of the year in terms of heat. You know that, but today is potentially the hottest day of the year. I looked at the real feel last night while I was looking at the weather forecast for today and when I could get my run in, and it said the real feel was like 114. So that's a problem. So if you're out there, make sure if you've got a dry or sticky mouth, or you're feeling lightheaded, or you're not using the bathroom much, or your heart rate's elevated, maybe you've got mental changes, which is a huge red flag, don't push it. Stop. And if you feel like you are dehydrated, if you feel like you do need medical attention, find your nearest Ochsner Urgent Care at ochsner.org/UC. Heat stroke's a major risk. Some reminders: wear loose or breathable gear, work out in the morning or the evening, drink water, use sunscreen, sunglasses, a true sun coverage hat, and again, know your limits. If you feel off, just stop. If you're looking for an Ochsner Urgent Care, you can find it at ochsner.org/UC.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday show is brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Sharif told me today, because usually Sharif joins us at 2:30, and he said today we got Kellen and Mickey coming on from 2 to 3, so can I go early? I said, yeah, so we had Sharif at 1:15 today. And of course, it is now 2:20, and Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore have not talked to the media. So I was hoping that we could have some comment on them on Olave, some comment on them on Tyson, some sort of injury update for our 2:30 segment, which is still possible. We got 11 minutes to go, but it hasn't happened to this point. Saints will be on the practice field tomorrow. Everybody reporting today. I can confirm, based on Saints social media, that Tyler Shuck has showed up for work and a number of other Saints in the building today. So we're off and running down there from Metairie. ESPN.com ranked the top 50 offseason moves. It include free agent signings. It included draft picks. It included trades. Matt Brown put the list together, and I was like, all right, well, let's see where the Saints fall on this list. And you got to go a ways because you realize the Rams trading for Myles Garrett, the Patriots adding A.J. Brown, Trent McDuffie going to the Rams as well, Dexter Lawrence traded from the Giants to the Bengals. Like, those were the big splash moves of the offseason. You don't get to a single Saints move until you get to the pick of Jordan Tyson at 27 on this list. And the blurb says, Tyson will work opposite Chris Olave in New Orleans, giving a second-year quarterback Tyler Shuck 2 perimeter targets with alignment flexibility. Tyson can make plays vertically using his 6'2" frame and all the big-time ball skills to win against smaller corners. Plus, he can create separation on middle-of-the-field throws in Coach Kellen Moore's offense. The arrow's pointing up from the Saints heading into the 2026 season. I like that last line in that blurb there from ESPN.com. But Tyson comes in at 27. And we've talked about Jordan Tyson ad nauseum. We're going to discuss him probably in the next 10 minutes if they say something about him. But you understand my thoughts on just how important he could be. I liked the pick when they made it. I understood the risks of the pick when they make it. Every pick has some risk, some more than others. I was okay with this risk, and I think it can be a huge move. ESPN's got it at number 27. And then to get to the next move that the Saints made on the top 50, you got to go almost to the end. Number 47, Travis Etienne, signed by New Orleans. ESPN writes, the team's decision to restructure Alvin Kamara's contract will factor into Etienne's total volume, but I still like the free agent addition and Moore's offense. Etienne can produce as a receiver, and I would expect Moore to get him on the perimeter in the run game. Etienne had 13 total touchdowns in Jacksonville last season. I like this signing. I understood that there was they paid a lot in this instance, but as we talked about entering the free agent season, you have money to spend with a quarterback making as little as Tyler Shuck does relative to the rest of the league. If you feel like bringing in a proven running back when you don't know what Kamara is going to give you, and you don't what Kendre Miller is going to give you, and you don't what Devin Neal's going to get you, and you don't know if Audric Estime is your guy, and you just got a little bit of a question mark there, go on a short-term deal, go get a veteran running back that's been very productive. I'm good with that. And then, not last, the last one on the list is David Edwards at 50. The signature that the Saints got for their new left guard. The blurb writes, Edwards adds veteran experience to a rapidly developing offensive line in New Orleans. Played his best football over the last couple of seasons. His 95% pass block win rate in 2025 ranked 12th among 65 qualifying guards. And what I think about when I look at these additions is it twofold. One, all three of these additions benefit your young quarterback. Getting a potential number 1, number 2 wide receiver, that helps your quarterback. Getting a proven running back, that helps your quarterback. Getting a guard who was one of the best in pass protection in the NFL last year at a spot that, oh, by the way, you were terrible last year, helps the young quarterback. And did they maybe overpay relative to the market for Edwards and Etienne? Maybe. It's possible. You could argue that, but I would argue they also have the ability to do that with a cheap quarterback. The Saints were not in a position this offseason to go make one of the 15 biggest moves in the NFL. You weren't picking in the top 2 in the draft, didn't need to trade up for that. You didn't have a lot of cap space, and you didn't have a player out there on the market that made sense for you financially that you could bring in that, oh, by the way, also made sense for you in the spot you are as an organization. As much fun as the end of the Saints season was last year, it was just to inspire hope. It wasn't necessarily an indication that the Saints had arrived. You didn't beat good enough teams to do that. So the Saints did essentially exactly what you needed to do. You made smaller moves to help your young quarterback and to position you closer toward the top of your division and conference. The time to make one of those top 15 moves is after you prove yourself. The top 15 moves need to be made to go win the Super Bowl or to draft your franchise quarterback. That's what that means. The Rams got Myles Garrett to go win the Super Bowl. The Patriots got A.J. Brown to go win the Super Bowl. The Rams got Trent McDuffie to go win the Super Bowl. The Bengals got Dexter Lawrence to go win the Super Bowl. They probably won't, but that offense is pretty salty, and Dexter Lawrence, pretty good. But that's what they did. The Ravens, Trey Hendrickson, same thing. Like, these are moves made to go win the whole thing. And the Saints aren't in that spot. So it wouldn't stand to reason the Saints would make one of the top 15 moves in the NFL. It's time to take that step, solidify things like they did, proven veteran left guard, proven veteran running back, a big chance on a big playmaker in the first 10 picks of the draft. And look, if you free up some space next year, you got some room in the cap, and you're coming off of let's be optimistic. You're coming off a 10-8, 10-7. I can't do the math to 17. I do it wrong every time. Burning my brain for 33 years that we were doing 16 and then went to 17, and I can't do it on the air. If you go 10, say if you go 10-7. Okay, you want to make one of the top 15 moves next year? I won't fault you for it. You got a short window at that point where your franchise quarterback that you know is locked in is on his rookie deal. So if you want to go make a splash, you want to spend some money, you want to restructure a contract here or there, okay, I'm on it. Now, if you go 6-11, I'd probably pump the brakes on that. But if you can go have a good year, this time next year when ESPN's ranking those top 50 moves, if one of them is you, and you went and addressed a glaring hole, I'm with it. But right now, they did it right. And I've said this a number of times in the last 7 months. We hammered the Saints front office for a year and a half. After the Dennis Allen hire, which was an okay move at the time on paper, and then when they went and got Derek Carr, you started to go, and then it went south with Carr and Allen, and they still were sticking to it, trying to make moves, and you're like, this is bad. And they were terrible. And that's worth drilling the front office over. But just because you drilled them 2 years ago doesn't mean, hey, we're going to just keep hammering away until they fire all these losers. No, you just analyze what their decision-making looks like. And they made a change last offseason when they brought in Kellen Moore, and they finally said, all right, relax. No more restructuring contracts way down the road. No more big free agent signings. No more trading 3 of your late-round draft picks to move up 8 spots in the first round for defensive linemen. Chill out. Make your draft picks. Sign smarter free agents. Draft a quarterback. Let the quarterback develop. Let's do this thing organically. And they have. It does not mean it's going to work. They might be terrible this year. I don't think so, but it's possible. So I'm not here to throw them all the kind of bouquets. I like the plan. Whether or not the execution works probably lies in the draft class from last year, Shucka in the front of that, and the draft class from this year. And if those two are good and you win a lot of games this year and you've got a lot of guys on rookie deals, yeah, go make one of these huge trades. Yeah. Go trade up. Go trade up in the draft and get a guy. Like, if you hit on 2 straight drafts and a quarterback and win 10 games this year, have at it. A free-for-all, Mickey. But right now, they're doing it the right way. And that's okay that they're 27th, 47th, and 50th moves of the NFL offseason calendar. I'm good with that. It was the right time to make those moves. So good on Mickey. We'll see if he has anything to say. Jordan, what do you have to say about that soliloquy I just gave you?
Well, I think you went off the rails a little bit at the end with let Mickey have a free-for-all.
No, we haven't got, you get the 10 wins. You get the 10 wins first.
We can't let a recovering addict just have loose. No. Let's reel him in. Mickey, slow down. Not yet. But I'm just drinking so much of the optimism Kool-Aid at this point. Like I'm seeing. No,
where did that come from?
Well, listen. Because I've seen news that maybe Tua has a disclosed injury right now, so the Falcons down and out. We'll talk about the Bucs for take it or leave it. And then Bryce Young is still Bryce Young. So it's like this division is, I mean, when you get reports that Bryce Young looks like Bryce Young last year, God is good. Like, we're not hearing Bryce Young, he's elevating. It's like, oh, he looks about the same last year. So that's really great. So I'm drinking just too much of the optimism at this point. I want to, taper my expectations a little bit because, when you go into training camp, knock on wood, you got to make it through training camp. You know, with key guys not getting injured on some fluke. You know, he stepped on a football and, you know, whatever.
Yep.
They're going to put it in the air. But we got to make it through training camp. But right now, my optimism meter is just way too high. So I kind of need to get grounded a little bit, just a little bit. But that Falcon news today is just like, man, I almost started sweating.
I don't even think this is like a jinx thing or a harbinger of bad news thing. It's just reality of the world. That first training camp injury is coming.
Oh, it's
I don't know when it's coming, but it is coming. And so that's just part of the drill.
It breaks my heart because I know
it'll probably be Kendra Miller, if we're being honest.
Well, if history shows itself, that's probably down the line. But if it's him, I'm good. We just can't have one of these guys we really, really need. But that's the harsh reality of the NFL, like you said, that's coming because we just saw the Panthers, their first round pick last year, scored, and he tore his knee up on the first day of practice.
I know. We were in Atlanta, and I looked at Matt and I said, Nick Scorton, I think, just tore his knee up.
And I do not want nothing to do with that. So we just got to make it through training camp, and then the optimism will be right back where it needs to be.
I really thought we were going to have quotes for Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore at 2:30 for a 2 o'clock press conference, but we certainly don't. So
they're not live
we'll
yet,
figure it out when we get back.
Yet.
It's a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, LifetimeRoofingLA.com. LifetimeRoofingLA.com is the website. Lifetime Roofing is so proud to be able to offer a lifetime workmanship warranty. Lifetime workmanship warranty. That's what they're willing to do. And that includes the workmanship, obviously, but it also backs the materials. Certainty, right there. One of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. That's what Lifetime Roofing can offer you. Have them check it out. If you have one after one of those heavy rains in the afternoon, have some water damage, you think, or you're just not sure about the current quality of your roof, let Lifetime go up and do an inspection. They'll tell you if you need a new roof. They'll tell you if you just need a repair. They'll tell you if you just need a tune-up to fortify that roof for storm season. Trust a local roofer from right here in South Louisiana, a growing team, gorgeous facility right there off College Drive. It's Lifetime Roofing. You can find them online at lifetimeroofingla.com.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com. SwingEasyGCBR.com. Awesome spot to work on your game. It takes time to work on your golf game, whether you're a scratch player or a beginner. It just takes time. And one thing that is difficult is taking that amount of time on a 105-degree driving range, right? And sometimes the balls aren't the best. Sometimes there's not a ton of grass growing, or it's soaking wet from yesterday's soaking rain. Wind can be blowing. It's just maybe a tough place to practice this time of year in Baton Rouge. Not at Swing Easy. Go to Swing Easy Golf Club. You go in your indoor private bay on the swing simulator. You hit balls in the driving range setting. You can see the trajectory of your shot. You can see the carry distance, your club head speed, the ball speed, how much it spins. Some of these metrics are important to the scratch golfer. Some of them not as important to the beginner. But you can just hit balls and get a lot of feedback. My favorite thing is when you hit shots at Swing Easy, you get a slow motion replay of your club head at impact. So you can see where you're hitting the golf ball. I found it to be incredibly helpful. You can see it on drives. You can see it on wedge shots. So if you're looking to work on your game, but you find it tough to do at this time of year, go to Swing Easy. They're on Segan at Perkins. They're online at SwingEasyGCBR.com. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. All right, Mickey Loomis finally did get to the podium to speak with the media, so we'll hit some bullet points that he's discussed as he's still currently speaking, but the folks are firing up the Twitter machine and firing them out, so we'll get you these updates. Great news is that Chris Olave has reported to camp. He's been very enthusiastic. Mickey Loomis said that there have been a lot of discussions. They're not quite there yet. He said both times want to get a deal done, but it's got to make sense for both sides. So they're actively working on Olave's extension, but he has reported to camp. He's ready to go. He'll be out there day one, which we expected. Great news. Jordan Tyson has passed his conditioning test. He has been cleared. He's ready to go. He should be out there at practice tomorrow. That's great news. I was a little bit concerned, if we're being honest, at just how slowly they eased him in the summer workouts, in the OTAs, in rookie minicamp, all that. It was just very, very, very slow. Kid gloves all the way. And I get it. A lot of injury concerns. But to hear that he passed everything and is ready to go is a very, very good thing. I was stunned just now to read that there's no injury designation on Kendre Miller to this point. Like, he's ready to go. That's a remarkably fast recovery from a significant injury that he suffered last season. So he's got to kick it into gear. Like, I have never heard anyone say about Kendre Miller, yeah, I just don't think he can play. Like, I don't think he has what it takes at this level. It's always if he stays healthy, if he stays healthy, if he stays healthy. And I don't know, quote unquote, how healthy he is. I don't know if he's 100% or I don't know if he's just able to go out there. And I don't know. It's possible, and I'm completely speculating here, obviously. Completely speculating, but that's what we're here for. We'll get hard news tomorrow. But it may be that Kendre Miller is only 85%, but he knows that if he doesn't go out there, he's cut. Like, we got time before the first cut, but you gotta go. And nobody's hitting anybody tomorrow anyway, so you might as well go out there and give it what you got. So, again, that's all speculation, but it's good to know that he'll be out there. Mason Tipton is on the physically unable to perform list, so he's on the PUP list. That's the only big-time name. Keyshawn Silver joins him there. Tight end Cody Hardy and defensive tackle Xavier Harris placed on the NFI. But everybody else is good to go. That's very, very good. You'll bear with me as I continue to read through the tweets from the Saints beat as they're there. Chris Olave has no restrictions. That blood thinner issue was obviously something you've got to take very, very seriously when you go play football if you're on blood thinners. And it's a physical sport. It's just in. So having blood thinners can be problematic there, but it sounds like he's ready to go. Mickey Loomis says he's been in touch with Taysom Hill. We'll leave those conversations private. I would be flat line stunned if Taysom Hill was on this team this year. Stunned. Fall out of my chair. I cannot imagine. After the way last year went, I just cannot imagine that that's something the Saints want to revisit. It was a detriment to the team more often than not last year to get him as involved as he has been. Mickey Loomis, a quote that Sean Fazan just tweeted, we like expectations, but we can't let expectations interfere with the process. I like that thought. That's Jordan. That's to your point of Mickey just going ham if they feel like things are moving in the right direction. He said they got a process, which I like the process. Show me more process.
Told you he's recovering. He's been in rehab. He's got his life together. It
reminds me when Dennis Rodman had to leave the Bulls to go to Vegas. Yeah, it's like he's just got to go nuts.
Just let him go. Let him go
for like 3 days, and then Jordan flew over there, and Jordan told that story in Last Dance. He walked in the hotel room, people with no clothes on in there. He's like, all right, party's over. Let's go.
It's time to go.
We gotta get up and go. So yeah, we won't let Mickey do that. Anything else that I'm seeing on
that Kendre news? I'm still shocked by that. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
It's great news because you want as many options as you can at running back. I would suggest there are significant questions at running back beyond HN. Like, I think Kamara's the 2. I think that's the odds-on position, but there are some guys with some talent. Kendre Miller has some talent.
He's got the talent.
Audric Estime did some things last year.
Yep.
And then look, Devin Neal was productive. Now sounds like he's healthy as well. He's not named on this, so that's a good thing. It's a good thing, but there will be competition at running back. That's a position like last year in the preseason. The Saints are playing. We're all eyes on the QBs. We're all eyes on Rattler. We're all eyes on Shuck. Like, what do we see? What do we see? What do we see? To an extent, Hainer, but really those two guys. That's it. And this year, like, there are some other spots. I'm looking at the interior defensive line. I'm looking at running back. I'm looking
corner.
For depth at corner for sure. If Delp can go out there and play at tight end, you want to see that. I don't think you're going to get a lot of Juwan Johnson in the preseason. Like, it's crazy because we used to have that. Everyone ran the same 4-game preseason blueprint. Like, not very much action at all game 1. Good bit in game 2. Real action game 3. Nobody plays game 4. And now it's like no one plays. Just like nobody plays in the preseason. But some of these young guys are obviously going to have to be out there. So one more quote there from Mickey Loomis that Chris Olave has been as enthusiastic as anyone. That is not just a Mickey Loomis company line. The people on the beat have reported that Olave has said all the right things. He's done all the right things. He's been very active at the facility. He's been very active at OTAs, very active. He's been very present. So it seems like this is not some sort of act. I do believe that Chris Olave wants to get a big contract like today, but I do believe he also wants to go win games. And I think he knows that he's a big piece to what they're doing on offense. He's missed some time with injury. He hasn't been with Tyler Shuck as much as he probably would like to, and so it's important for him to be out there. So I don't think that's some sort of cat and mouse game. I think that Chris Olave is kind of thinking, and this is way from the outside looking in, Chris Olave is thinking, I'll let the agents deal with that. They've got my best interest in heart. They know what the market looks like. They'll check with me, but I'm going to go practice until they tell me to come in the room and look at a contract.
100%. And what makes me think that and believe that so much is because we're talking about a guy that almost was retired because of Derek Carr. He kept getting concussion. He talked about he was going to retire early. So the fact that Carr retires, he goes all pro, and now he's about to get paid. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Olave, he's probably like, man, this life is good right now. I was almost retired, and now I'm about to get my second contract in the NFL off of all pro season. So he's like, man, let's play some ball. I'm trying to win now. We have expectations finally. We're not just out here running around. So I'm excited for him the most, honestly.
We shall see. Loomis said, "I don't think an offensive lineman missed a single workout this offseason."
Oh,
that's
my
a
goodness.
That's a good quote right there as well. We're gonna have some good. We'll have some good sound from Mickey Loomis, and then Kellen Moore will speak later on. So I would imagine that Musso is going to try to get some of this turned around for AFR a little bit later. Yeah, it's just a tough spot. This is bad timing for us on a station to try to get this done.
Yeah.
But you know who likes this? The OTB boys. They'll have fresh sound tomorrow for tomorrow's show, and we'll certainly get to it as well. The Saints will be on the practice field tomorrow, their first workout of training camp. We'll chat with someone on the Saints beat tomorrow. I've got a couple people in mind, but again, I have to wake up in the morning and check with them as to what time they're doing things, because they gotta get their work done. And Kellen Moore does not care about afternoon radio. He likes to do afternoon practices because he likes to sleep in. So there have been previous coaches that would have those workouts done in the morning, and we could talk to whoever we wanted it from 1 to 3. Not the case in the Kellen Moore era. He's sleeping in, so they practice in the afternoon. We'll get something done with the Saints tomorrow. Ross Jackson, he's there. He'll be covering it for us at LouisianaSports.net. We'll take a timeout, come back and close out the show next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. No matter where you are in the Who Dat Nation, there's a First American Bank and Trust very near to you. Look, it's 116 years in business. You do something 116 years, you're doing it the right way. And the way they do it is forming a relationship with their community and being an advocate for their community, being an asset to their community. Every decision that is made on a commercial or personal loan at First American Bank and Trust is made in Southeast Louisiana by someone that you see day to day. That's the beauty of the community bank. And it's not that they're small. They're not. They have 25 locations. They're 116 years old. But they care about the community that they serve. It's First American Bank and Trust. Check them out online, FABT.com.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday show is brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. They're just an asset for your business. If your IT department is stretched a little bit thin, maybe doesn't quite have the resources that you need, and you got somebody running around desk to desk trying to put out fires, Immense is not trying to replace your IT department. They just want to help, and they can. You're never locked into a long-term contract with Immense. They earn the next month's retention. That's the way they operate. If you've got 50 to 100 employees, that's kind of the sweet spot for Immense. They're here to help you with cybersecurity, here to help you with break and fix, here to help you use information technology to further your business. It's not just, well, his computer's frozen, call Immense. Well, he clicked on the wrong email, call Immense. This laptop's old, call Immense. No, they're proactively monitoring your server 24/7 so you don't have cyber breaches that can be really, really costly. It's Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. They bring you our Tuesday shows each and every week. Check them out online at immense.net. That's immense.net. All right, fast-moving show here on this Tuesday. Saints have reported a training camp. Mickey Loomis talking to the assembled media right now. Kellen Moore will get to them coming up a little bit later, and we'll react to all that tomorrow. Plus, report from on the grounds there in Metairie. Looking forward to that as we've reached the end of the doldrums of the summer from a professional perspective, and OSU just a week away from reporting to camp and getting things underway on the Ponderosa as well. So looking forward to diving into all of that coming up next week. Right now, let's dive into Take It or Leave It.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so you spoke about it a little bit earlier, but Notre Dame Athletics has signed a jersey patch sponsorship with SoFi Technology worth $18 to $20 million annually. It's expected to become the richest jersey sponsorship in college athletics history. According to the news release, SoFi will establish a new annual $1.4 million fund to support Notre Dame's For Forever campaign. Basically, they're giving out scholarships and all that to student athletes and whatnot and other opportunities, NIL opportunities. So, does Notre Dame brand deserve the highest paid jersey sponsorship? Take it or leave it.
I would have to consider taking it. Like I mean, that's a national brand. Like that is one that people from all around the country are tuning in to watch. Now I would push back on the fact that their schedule's pathetic, so they might not get a lot of eyeballs, but they're going to be in the playoff, so that helps. So I mean, look, this is one. I'm a traditionalist. I'm a uniform guy. And look, Notre Dame's got as traditional uniforms as anybody in the country. But the jersey patch thing, to forego $18 million a year just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The Cubs got Motorola on the sleeve. The Yankees have got an insurance company on the sleeve. I mean, these are iconic brands in professional sports. I don't want them to start looking like NASCAR drivers. I don't want them to look like the Premier League with logos in the front and stuff. But, like, you want to throw a patch that's the same color as everything else that you can't really even see for $18 million a year when I'm trying to pay the players, we're gonna have to make that work.
So with Pro Bowl nose tackle Vita Vea asking for a trade, asking out of Tampa yesterday, and Baker Mayfield ending his contract negotiations with the Bucs today, he's planning on entering free agency after this season. So are we seeing another power shift in the NFC South right before our eyes? Take it or leave it.
Got to take it.
I'll take it.
Panthers taking control.
Hey, man. They say Bryce Young's looking like Bryce Young last year, man. So, Lord.
Look, I heard Mike Delicano on Sports Today yesterday say that he thought, live at lunch
I was
yesterday.
Sports Today. Yeah,
live at lunch yesterday. He said he thought the Panthers were the best team.
He did say that. And I
did.
wanted to reach to the – almost had to grab him, Hunt. But Mike's good. It's my guy.
But, look, it's not the strongest division. Let me just go ahead and say that. And so there are some cracks in the foundation all over the place. If the Saints can rise above all that, heck yeah.
All right, so Glam Light Cosmetics is a brand known for playful collaborations. Is launching its first ever body care collection in partnership with Pepsi. So the founder announced that they are going to be releasing on the TikTok shop on July 31st. Well, that's like the preview. They're going to be releasing a Pepsi Vanilla Slushy Body Scrub and a Pepsi Wild Cherry Body Wash. So Pepsi smelling body care. Take it or leave it.
I gotta leave it.
Leave it alone.
The drink is okay.
Drink is good. I like the wild cherry.
But
want to smell like
I'm not sure that's the play. I don't know if that's what you want to smell like. Pepsi. It's like have you seen Seinfeld?
Yes.
So
I've
Kramer pitches the beach. He wants you to just to smell like you're coming off the beach, and then he pitches it to the guy at the top, and he goes, "People are sweaty on the beach. There's seaweed. It's a vile odor. It's a horrendous idea." And Kramer's
just can't understand. He just can't get it
about it. I feel that Pepsi is the beach is a great place to go. Pepsi is a nice thing to drink, but I don't want to smell like either one of them.
Not after the shower, not the nice little vanilla slushy body scrub.
That's not it. Vanilla Pepsi's not gonna be the ticket.
All right, so that's it for Take It.
All right, that's it for Take It or Leave It here on this Tuesday. Reminder, we'd love to see you out at Court the Table tonight for sports trivia. It's at 8 o'clock. You can come by yourself. You can bring a team. You can bring 8 people if you want and have a trivia team. It's not an all-night thing. 8 o'clock start, sometimes closer to 8:05, and I'll have you out of there by 9:20. You can win gift cards. You can win pickleball reservations. You can have their great food, cold drinks, got lots of sports on TV. It's just fun time. So if you're looking for something to do on a Tuesday night, come on out and see us, Court the Table on Burbank Sports Trivia every single Tuesday. Open the show today talking about the latest from Capitol Hill as well as from Chicago at Big Ten Media Days. Tony Petitti talked about the Protect College Sports Act, and the commissioners have until 9 o'clock tomorrow to offer their suggestions before that bill heads to the House. So we'll see how that goes. Sharif Ishaq was with us at 1:15. You can find that at Hunt on Saints. Glenn West talking Tigers at 1:30. Find that at Hunt on LSU. Christian Miller, Saints second rounder, with a really cool story from Rouse's in Metairie over the weekend. You can check that out at the end of the show. How much is LSU football worth? Well, 11th in the country. We talked about it. And the Saints doing the right thing from a front office perspective. All that wherever you find your sound on demand. Matt's about to drive you home next one after further review. We're back tomorrow talking Saints day one of training camp. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. I'm just begging y'all, if you see a crack in your bathtub, if you see a crack in your shower, don't just wave it off. David sees that all the time, and the results are not favorable because now you're allowing water to get places it's not supposed to be. You get water in the walls, water leaking down to the floors, water in the ceiling. Water's got to go somewhere, and then it causes significant damage. It can rot wood, it can create mold, and now all of a sudden a little crack in the shower tub can become a very, very expensive repair job. If you see a small imperfection, a small crack in your shower tub, contact David Duvall at One Bath and Closets. You can find him online at onebathandclosets.com. Have him come out, check out the situation, and don't let anything become something that it doesn't need to be. That's David's message to you. Check him out online at onebathandclosets.com. That's One Bath and Closets.